What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Scheduled for 8:30 today. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it. I had parent-teacher interview tonight. Decided to do it after all. It's a busy one, but I'm going to be reviewing this bad boy, and I'm going to butcher the name. It's one of the newer Bunnahabhains. Let me just call up the chat. There we go. Live chat. All right. Open this up a little bit. Got Loch Ness and BBJAP. What's going on? How's it going, guys? Wasn't sure if I was going to do a live tonight. Decided to do it. Go Habs in the house. What's going on, brother? Pouring and reviewing this bad boy right here. Let the camera focus in a little bit. So this one is aged in ex-bourbon and Oloroso sherry, and it's supposed to be smokier than their regular expressions. 46.3%, unchill filtered, no added color. The pronunciation of this one is a nightmare. Got a few guys in the chat already. Got the Rot Gut review. What's going on? Never saw you in the chat before. That's an interesting name. We got Carlos Ramos. What's up, brother? William, how's it going, man? So a few people in the chat already. I was given this bottle by the rep for Bunnahabhain, the rep that buys and I guess brings in for the LCBO. And when I opened it up, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't absolutely in love with it. It just tasted like the Kilbannock. This one is pronounced, and I will butcher this, so I apologize in advance, but Toitteach A Dha, or something along those lines. Toitteach A Dha. I don't know. Anyway, it's not spelt that way, but Gaelic is a very difficult language to read. So I'll put this here so you guys can see it. Oh, you can't see it there. You can see it here. There we go. The word means smoky two. I don't know. Smoky two? Yeah, smoky two. I guess that means smoky two barrels, maybe because it's ex-bourbon and ex-Oloroso sherry. We got Go Habs in the chat. We got Christine Deems. Hello, how are you? We got Moose76. Richie Z, what's going on? We got Casey. How are you? Guys, glad you can join me. It was a long one today. Parent-teacher interview is usually twice a year, and this is the one where I have to see all the parents, and it's a long day. Obviously, I get there at normal time in the morning around between 7:45 and 8:15, depending on how traffic is and how quickly my children allow me to get to work. But then it goes all the way till 7:30 at night. Usually 8:30 at night, but I work through my dinner so that I can leave a little bit earlier because the kickboxing business that my wife and I own, she teaches a fitness class, and she was actually going to be teaching tonight. So I had to get home to relieve her so she can get to the kickboxing, or well, her fitness class anyway. Snow day in Montreal apparently for Go Habs. Chad Adams is in the house. What's going on, buddy? About to take my first sip of the Bunnahabhain. That's $100 at the LCBO. The nose has drastically improved from when I first opened this bottle. It's actually really, really nice now. And you're getting a lot more Oloroso sherry than you did, or than I did anyway, when I first opened the bottle. Bunnahabhain was also kind enough to send me, or the rep anyway, was kind enough to send me gloves as well. They're leather Bunnahabhain gloves. So I guess living in Canada, she expected that I could use those. I apologize for the dishwasher in the background. Yeah, that is opened right up. No longer at all like the Kjolbonok. You definitely get the sherry influence here. The Kjolbonok is just a peated ex-bourbon cask. This is ex-bourbon and Oloroso sherry. It's probably the same base as the Kjolbonok with added barrels that are peated Oloroso sherry casks altogether. Or maybe not even peated, but Oloroso sherry nonetheless. What's going on, Jason? So my normal time is Thursdays at 8:30. I didn't announce this one because I didn't want to get anybody's to ruin anybody's plans, basically, because I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to go live. So I ended up making it on, and here we go. So on the nose here, you're getting a bit of that like Bunnahabhain peat that you would be used to if you tasted the Kjolbonok. It's not quite Islay style, although this is an Islay whiskey, and it's not quite Highland style. It's somewhere in between. Maybe reminds me of a little bit of like a Talisker type peat. And then you get some really nice red fruit from the sherry casks. On the palate, really sweet. A little bit of smoke as well. The ABV is great. No burn whatsoever. This needs time. Honestly, I've been noticing more and more lately that some of the bottles that are not the greatest when you pour them off the first few pours, just let them sit for about a month, maybe 2 months. Let them sit in the bottle. Don't touch them for a while. Go back to them. If you have a lot of bottles open, you have that luxury. Those of you that open one bottle at a time and then drink through that bottle, you won't have that luxury, but you will notice from the beginning when you started that whiskey to the end when you're finishing it, there will be a difference, and it should get better. I just want to go to the chat here really quick before I give this one a mark. Last night, Jason from the Mash and Drum had a crazy live. It was like 85 people in his chat at one point. The guy's killing it. If you guys haven't already, which I'm sure all 20 people in this chat have, but go subscribe to his channel because he's super cool. Lisa Hatcher, I think that's a newer one for me. I came in late. Can you show the bottle? Yep, absolutely. So it's this bad boy right here. And I'm not going to repronounce that because I've already butchered it once, and Roy will kill me if I do that. So I'm going to leave it as is, and I'll leave it for the Scottish to pronounce that properly. Claire the Third is saying that the kitchen is so white that all he sees is my beard. That's pretty funny. The Whiskey Friend's in the house. What's going on, buddy? He could probably help me pronounce this properly. Prestige Liquids is in the house as well. Also has a channel. He's saying, sometimes I find if we overhype a whiskey for ourselves, it can severely affect the experience. I agree with that 100%. That's happened to me many times. But I will also say that nothing works better than a little bit of time in the bottle after you open it. Let it sit, let it open up, because that really does help. Actually, Jason got into this a little bit yesterday, and I wrote it in the chat, but I've been thinking about this for a long while, and I've heard about bottle shock, and I've experienced bottle shock. And someone brought up a good point about how when you try a whiskey out of the barrel, a lot of times it tastes great right out of the barrel. What I think happens is the bottle shock occurs literally when you're in the process of bottling from barrel to bottle. all kinds of different things are happening with that whiskey. It's being swished around. It's being thrown into a vat. It's getting mixed. It's blended, whatever. It's getting pumped into a bottle, and then it's getting shipped out. So by the time all that happens, the whiskey becomes very tight. And I don't know the science behind it. I don't know why that happens, but I know that when you ship out bottles or you receive bottles that have been shipped, it doesn't taste like other bottles that you've had of the exact same stuff. So bottle shock is a real thing, in my opinion. That's why when you open up a bottle, you pour it out. It's great to let the whiskey open up in the glass, but even in the bottle, give it a month if you can. If you have other things open and you have the opportunity to let it air out a little bit, give it a month in the bottle, let it settle, let it go back to what it's supposed to be, and then give it another shot, because I really do think that there would be a big change. So there's about 30 of you guys in there as far as I can see. What are you guys drinking tonight? DJ Wan, what's up, buddy? Fight for Sound. A few new people to the chat tonight. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm not sure what lamb shock is, but that's interesting. Solid advice. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So I was lucky enough to win a William LaRue Weller today on the LCBO lottery. And obviously that means that I win the opportunity to buy that bottle, not win the opportunity to win the bottle. And then Jason has to one-up me with, yesterday I gave him a $7 virtual dram. Tonight he's giving me an $8 virtual dram. The only reason I give you 7, Jason, is because the Canadian currency is not quite what the American currency is. And if you give me a 5, I have to compensate by giving you a 7. So now I got to give you like $11. I love you, brother. So guys, check out Jason from the Mash and Drum. He's saying, cheers, buddy. Love the Bunnahabhain. Thanks for the shout out. My pleasure, brother. Yeah, so this whiskey is $100 at the LCBO, which means it's probably $40 to $60 less everywhere else. That's just the way the LCBO goes. Nothing wrong with it when you think of how well they pay their employees, as well as the fact that a good portion of that money goes to the government, and we get a lot of great things here in Ontario, so I can't really complain about how they tax us. Although I have been known to complain about it. But yeah, wow, this has improved drastically. I honestly didn't know what to mark this at first. I was avoiding it, and I would go back to it periodically, and it was getting better. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave this for some time. The nose is just beautiful. It's the right amount of peat for those that are just getting into peat, and the right amount of peat for those who need a peated drink every once in a while as well. And then the palate's filled with all these like beautiful red fruits, a little bit of like a caramel taste in there as well, and then nice hit of smoke on the tail end on the finish. So honestly, that's a really good mark for me. I would say that's probably an A. I would go in at around 85 if I had to give that a numeric mark. Definitely worth $100. Roasted whole lamb that was like chewing leather. Interesting. Kenneth is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Dan E's in the house. How are you? Tim, how's it going, brother? Ebhead's in the house. Eric Waite's in the house. Getting quite a few, considering that I didn't plan this one out. Thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. Got the Raptors game on in the background. They made a huge trade today, picking up Paul Gasol. They're going to make a run this year. They're going to try to anyway. There's some big basketball teams in the way, but I think the Raptors might be all right. I think they might be all right. Any basketball fans in the house? Andrew's watching the Raptors too. Go Habs is saying, where's Jeremy? I'm actually going to Jeremy's house on Tuesday. We're going to be doing his first ever live at his house. So make sure you guys, if you haven't subscribed to Jeremy from Sipper Social Club, subscribe to him right now, and then check us out on Tuesday, because he said that he's opening up something epic. I don't want to hold him to that, but you know, that's kind of what we do anyway. So Richie's, he's a big Warriors fan. That makes sense, and I would be too if I were you, and I lived where you live. Yeah, so Eric Wade is saying that this Bunnahabhain is 58 US, and definitely for 58 bucks, it's definitely worth it. Like I said, pour out the top, use it as like a opening dram on a night where you're drinking peated whiskey, and then leave it. Leave it for a good month. Leave it for a little bit longer if you have to, because this is the result, what I'm experiencing right now, which is fantastic. It's really, really good. Definitely worth 100 Canadian, definitely worth 58 American. Yeah, Andrew's saying fun year for Toronto sports, except for the Jays. Honestly, I'm a huge Leaf fan, and I'm really excited about what's happening with the Leafs, and I hope that we make a run this year, but you never know. Weird things can happen, but they should be pretty good. I know Go Habs is going to hate hearing that, though. So Rock Gut Review is saying red breast all the way. I asked you guys what you guys were drinking. I guess he's drinking red breast. DJ Wan is saying, I'm about to buy my first non-got whiskey, deciding between Monkey Shoulder and red breast. Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, I would go with red breast over Monkey Shoulder any day as well. Especially if it's red breast 12-year-old cask strength, because that's awesome. Danny's asking how the new house is. It's good. Honestly, I'm happy with it. It's a little bit more spacious. It's a detached house. We lived in a semi-detached house before, pretty much in the same area that we were living in before, so not that much difference as far as driving goes. I like it. I'm happy. The family's happy, which is more important. My kids love it. My wife loves it. That's all that matters to me. Go Habs is saying, can't wait for the first round loss to the Bruins. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but we've been known to lose against the Bruins quite often in the last few decades. So, decade and a half, I guess. Killer Jolt's in the house. He's saying hello. What's up, buddy? And he's telling Go Habs not to say that. This is nice. This is it's better than it started for sure. It's actually getting really nice. The syrupy texture wasn't there when I first opened this bottle. I don't know why that happens now. I've been noticing it more and more. I guess that's part of shipping bottles. I did, as a disclaimer, I did get this bottle for free. So the rep from Bunnahabhain sent this to me, but I really like it. It's nice. It didn't start as nice, but it's definitely nice now. Eric Waite's asking, how does this one compare to the 12-year-old Bunnahabhain? The old Bunnahabhain, the old 12-year-old Bunnahabhain was 46.8% as well. and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite 12-year-old whiskeys. I would take that version, over this in a heartbeat, and it's a little bit less actually. So you're getting the better value out of the 12-year-old. I think if you're a peat fan, you're probably gonna like this one maybe a touch more. But the new Bunnahabhain 12-year-olds, from what I'm told at the LCBO, are 40%. I hope that's just a rumor. I hope that's just somebody that didn't like pay attention to what they were seeing. But if it's only 40%, then a lot's changed, and I'm pretty upset about that if that's true. Richie Z is saying, Rob, is the Bunnahabhain Moine one of the best Bunnas of all time? That's a tough question. Honestly, I love the 18-year-old. I love the 12-year-old, and I really love the 25-year-old. For me, with Bunnahabhain, the PX was good. It was very good. Don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't in my wheelhouse. I think if I left it a few months open again, it would have actually improved quite a bit. But the 18, I think the 18 or the 25, definitely way more expensive. Actually, the Moine's climbing in price on secondary, but the 25 is fantastic too. I haven't tried any of the new age statement Bunnahabhain, so I can't speak to those, but I've tried the old 12, the old 18, and the old 25. And all three of those are incredible. Yeah, so Killer Jolt is saying, oh man, it's marked at 40% with a new bottle on the LCBO website. I better go grab the bottle he saw. So it could be an error on the LCBO website. I'm wondering if you actually grab that bottle, look at the bottle yourself, if it actually has that ABV. The LCBO has been known to make those kinds of mistakes before. So I would not be surprised if it's actually 46.8, but the LCBO accidentally marked it at 40%. Yeah, so the Mash and Drum is saying he's heard old Bunnahabhains are a bit different and a bit better than new label bottles. Have you heard the same? I haven't tried any of the new label age statements, but I can say that the old ones are awesome. So I haven't heard the same. I know that Roy still swears by Bunnahabhain, so I trust his judgment. I think as long as they're bottling at the same ABV, I don't expect too much change other than sorry about that. That's my dishwasher. Other than the bottle. I think the bottle is the only thing that changed, as long as the ABV stays the same. Eric Wade saying the Bunnahabhain 12 is 46.3. Jason Whiskey and I will be doing a premiere video with it. Very cool. Jason Whiskey Wise or Whiskey Jason? Ah, yeah. So it's Jason Whiskey Wise. Very cool. The new Bunna 12 is incredibly fresh tasting. Okay, so I'm assuming that the ABV is the same, and I think it's just a error on the LCBO website. Like I said, that's an A, mid-range A for me. A goes from 85 to 89, and then once it hits 90, it's A plus and above. But that's really nice. Really, really nice. I got my friend Paulo calling me over here. I guess he's just leaving parent-teacher interview himself. This is, in this glass, An Abundance of Fruitcake by the SMWS. I poured it a while ago, and I really wanted to let it open up, and I can't believe the amount of like sweet, dessert-like characteristics on the nose. It's literally like a rum cake, fruit cake, and it wasn't this intense when I first opened the bottle again. Just getting better and better. I'm going to taste this one in a sec. Just finished this one. That's an 8, guys. If you can get it under 100 Canadian or at 100 Canadian, I highly recommend it. All right. Let's look at the chat over here. Yeah, this is crazy color. That's 100% natural color, cast strength, SMWS. Really, really nice stuff. Yeah, Eric waits like maybe a panettone. That's actually not far off. This does smell a little bit like a panettone. And it's funny you mentioned that because panettone has like raisins sometimes inside, depending on which kind you get. You can get the chocolate covered ones, which this one kind of reminds me of as well. Sometimes they have like an alcohol like liqueur inside, and there's like a powdered sugar on the top. All those notes are coming through on the nose here, which is crazy. Peanut butter. Gohab says he loves fruitcake. DJ11 says, so what's the average? How many bottles do you folk currently have in your whiskey collection? I have open, probably close to 100-ish. I have another 50 sealed for future considerations. Wow. Man, this is ridiculously fruity. But yeah, panettone is definitely a note I'm getting here. And then like a raspberry jam. Maybe even like a strawberry liqueur. The Mashing Drum knows what I'm talking about when I say panettone. That's like, there's a running joke with Italian families that everybody brings a panettone over each other's house at Christmas. And then if you're not careful and you don't mark the bottom, you might get the exact same panettone back the next year. So you got to mark the bottom so that you know that the guy's not regifting your gift. Sipper Social Club just jumped in. What's going on, brother? Kale Hubbard, what's going on, buddy? So again, like I said, Jeremy and I, so Sipper Social Club and I, will be going live on his channel at his house on the 12th, which is Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't already, because it'll be a fun night. Jason is saying check the dates, end up with one that's 10 years old. He's not wrong. That's funny because sometimes certain types of panettone nobody eats, so they just keep regifting it. Man, that's really nice. This is one of those ones for me personally that, and I mean, maybe I should judge it based on the second sip, but I've tasted this one a few times before where the nose is just that much more inviting than the palate. The palate's good, but the nose is great. Danny with his Bart comments again. I still have the suspicion that Danny is actually Bart. It's pretty oaky on the nose, actually, too. Sipper Social Club is saying Jasper, aka BB Jap, has a load of awesome samples for you. I have them here. Awesome. Thanks, thanks, Jasper. Really appreciate it, buddy. Looking forward to it. Yeah. So Killer Jolt, I think that's just an LCBO mistake. He's asking if the Old Paltney 12 is 40% in Ontario. I'm hoping that's an LCBO mistake. I don't actually think the website is correct, but I guess if anybody's gone to the shelf and actually saw it for themselves, please share that here. Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it. She's saying, don't forget to hit the like button. Got about 11 likes so far. So Jeremy and I, Sipper Social Club and I are, we share an SMWS membership. For those of you that don't know, that's what the symbol looks like. You probably recognize that, although that might be backwards for you. I get the magazine every month because the membership's in my name, so I feel bad. I probably should bring this to Jeremy on Tuesday because he doesn't get any of the luxuries of being an SMWS member at the moment. So this is coming to you too on Tuesday, Jeremy. Not gonna mark the abundance of fruitcake because I'll probably review all the SMWS that Jeremy and I buy together with Jeremy, unless something like he can't make it or whatever, and I got to get it out before I give him the bottle because we split every bottle. But I do have a rundown coming out of all SMWS stuff, so hopefully Jeremy can either come here for that or we can record it and then. Sometimes what we might do, I'm not 100% sure. We've talked about it and we both agreed to it, but until it's done, it's always up in the air. We might record a review together, and then to get my marks, you watch it on my channel. To get his marks, you watch it on his channel, and we'll probably add in a couple things here and there to make it entertaining to watch both reviews, I guess. Danny is saying we can't get it here in New Jersey. What are we talking about? SMWS? So Go Habs is asking if they'll ship across Canada. You have to contact one of the 2 stores in Alberta that sell SMWS stuff. They have the license for it, and they'll ship it directly to you. Or you have to, like, I think Kensington Wine Market does it, and the way they do it is you get it boxed and ready to go at Kensington Wine Market, and then you got to send over a UPS guy to ship it to you, or some sort of courier that's willing to do it anyway. So DJ Wan, I love what you're experiencing right now. It's all the new things about getting into whiskey. I guess you started with the Game of Thrones stuff. He probably just purchased the Glencairn glasses. That's awesome. And yes, it really does make a big difference between a glass that's shaped this way, which is meant for nosing at the top, and a regular tumbler, which makes most of the the aromas and that sort of stuff escape the glass, and you don't really get a large concentration of it at the top of the glass. Tim is asking what happened with those ones. It was actually only one bottle that contained alcohol inside of it that broke. I was sent 4 bottles. 2 were empty and 2 were full. One of them was this abundance of fruitcake. Another one was Sweet Snuggle. The Sweet Snuggle broke, unfortunately. The 2 empties, one of the empties broke. And what they were meant for is that video that I did with Dave from Keg and Cork. He sent me a bunch of SMWS samples as well. And we did the blind. I don't know if you guys watched that, but he sent me a blind sample from SMWS. And he was like getting me to, do like tasting notes and scent notes or whatever, notes like that I pick up on the nose, and then guess what the distillery was. And I actually nailed it. I got it as a Lejeg, which I thought was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. I love doing those kind of blind tastings. Richie Z is saying, do I have a Copita glass? I do not. I don't think so anyway, but I could be wrong. Take care, Jeremy. I think Jeremy's at work tonight, so he's saying he can't stick around. Cheers, buddy. Juan's in the house. What's up, buddy? Peter White's here, actually. I didn't see him. What's going on, brother? How are you, man? Nice to see you. I'll probably only do about 10 more minutes, guys. I wasn't planning on doing a live tonight. I wanted to say hello to you guys. I guess it was a good indication for me that I need to keep doing this because I had some time. The kids are sleeping. The wife went to teacher class. I had some time to myself, and I'm like, why don't I go live, see what the guys are doing? And the girls, sorry. There's some girls in the chat as well. See what the whiskey folk are doing. So anybody part of the LCBO lottery today, let me know if you guys won anything. I'm curious. I was lucky enough to win a William LaRue Weller. Ken is saying last call for a thumbs up. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Got about 20 thumbs up, which is always nice. Sorry to hear that, Jasper. Yeah, honestly, a lot of people came up blank this year, which is unfortunate. I guess they wouldn't be limited if everybody got one, but it's sad because most people that end up winning them are going to just pop them onto the secondary market right away. Yeah, no, I already purchased it. Richie Z is saying, Rob, the William LaRue Weller is a must-buy if it's retail in the lottery. Yeah, it's retail Canadian, which is $160. I believe it goes for $100 in the U.S., so even for the extra $30, obviously it's worth it. Those things go for obscene money in secondary. Honestly, out of all the BTACs, out of all the bourbon I've ever tried, I'm pretty sure that the William LaRue Weller is my favorite. Jack Daniel's Heritage is not considered a bourbon technically, so that can't be considered. And then the Michter's Toasted Barrel Rye is a rye. So those are my top 3 American whiskeys right now, in my opinion. Peter White's upset because he didn't win anything. I apologize, buddy. Perhaps if I crack open that William LaRue Weller soon, we will share a dram very soon. Loch Ness is saying, always love your live shows, whether solo or with a guest. Thanks, Loch Ness. Appreciate it, buddy. The Party Source Reviews is in the house. How's it going? All right, I'll do 5 more minutes, guys. What's everybody drinking tonight? I know that a bunch of you guys listed it already. If I missed it, wouldn't mind seeing it again. The GTS is definitely up there. It's probably number 4 on my list. If I had to rank, I don't know. I would love to try the Michter's Toasted Barrel Rye, the Jack Daniel's Heritage, and the William LaRue Weller and the GTS all side by side. This way I could actually give a proper answer to that. This is why I don't love the idea of scoring whiskey. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I do believe there's a bit of a spin the wheel. I'll tell you how I'm feeling tonight, and I'll give it a mark. I'm guilty of it myself. I know for a fact that there's stuff that I've reviewed in the past that I was too harsh on, or vice versa. There's stuff that I reviewed in the past that I was way too lenient on, and then my opinion on that thing changes probably 10 times from that point. So I don't know. I think marking whiskey is important in whiskey reviews because it helps you guys have a better idea of what you should go after, what you should buy. But the specific numeric mark that everybody wants, I still have trouble agreeing with. I think it's better to give a more broad, like a broad mark with more leeway, like the letter grading that I started the channel with. And I still do the letter grading as well, but I add in a percentage, which is way too accurate for my liking. I think it's a little bit too accurate, and I don't think we can actually pin down a mark that easily. And I think there's so much going on that it ends up being a little bit too random. I guess that's what I'm saying. So let's see. We got Dan E, who's drinking Crown Royal XO. Good stuff. The Party Source Reviews is drinking New Riffs TPS Private Barrel. Very cool. Tim is drinking Wild Turkey Rare Breed. That's a good one. Go Habs is drinking Booker's 2018 number 3. Go Habs, are you friends with Bill? A lot of Booker's recommendations come from that gentleman. DJ Wan is drinking the Night's Watch Oban Bay Reserve. Very cool. Peter White is also drinking a Wild Turkey, but he's drinking the 101. Kenneth is drinking Four Roses Single Barrel. That's good stuff. And honestly, that's a very reasonable bourbon, price-wise. Richie Z is drinking Barrel Batch 15. Honestly, this just proves my theory that bourbon is one of those things that really works in the winter. Most of you guys are drinking some sort of heavy proof American whiskey, which is very cool. I find that very interesting. Mike Lee is drinking Macallan 12-year-old. I missed my spot. Where did it go? There we go. The 12-year-old sherry, which is not available in Canada, but I do have myself a bottle. Loch Ness is drinking Glengoyne 18, which is awesome stuff, he says, and I agree wholeheartedly. Juan is drinking Old Forester 1910. I hear a lot of great things about that one. I haven't tried it. Explorer is drinking Highland Park Magnus. That's one that I have been avoiding just because of the ABV, but I've heard good things. So I guess I shouldn't be so judgmental and just try it. Chad Adams is drinking Springbank 15-year-old. Very cool. Christine didn't divulge what she's drinking, I don't think. Peter White is saying that the 2012 GTS is the best bourbon he's ever tried. I don't think that's the one that he got from me, but I could be wrong. It might be, because it was really good. That's the one that, if that's the one that I think it is, then it tasted like literally a can of Coke, like flat Coca-Cola, which is delicious. Santa Cruzan in the house. What's going on, brother? P-Boss in the house. Sorry I ignored your call, brother. I just I couldn't answer because I was live with you guys. He just picked up a new Bunnahabhain as well. It's the Ann Claddock. I definitely butchered that. Bunnahabhain comes up with the hardest names to pronounce. I don't like being in this kitchen. I get very blotchy because of the alcohol. Maybe the heat in here. I haven't drank much yet. Vegas Art is drinking JD Heritage. Kale is drinking Gentleman Jack. Some awesome stuff in the chat, guys. Awesome. Good stuff. This abundance of fruitcake is incredible on the nose. I would give it an A+ on the nose for sure. But I'll give you a full review in a couple days. Probably coming out maybe in 2 weeks, actually, because I want to record this one with Jeremy. So something else will come out this Monday. All right, guys. I'm going to say thank you to everybody joining me. Again, this one's an A for me. Like I said, I don't love giving numeric marks, but for the sake of you guys, I'll probably give this an 85-ish. Really good stuff. For $100 or less, I highly recommend that you pick it up. Good. Really good. Okay, and Peter White is confirming that the 2012 GTS is the one that he got from me. Very interesting. I probably wouldn't disagree with him if I tried it again, but that was very, very, very early on in my bourbon journey. So no pun intended. Obviously, there's a channel called My Bourbon Journey, but which is a really cool guy as well, Scott. But yeah, I wasn't that familiar with cast strength bourbons or bourbon barrel proof bourbons in the first 6 months to a year of my channel. And I really made it my mission to understand and try as many as I can to have an educated input now. And I think I've done that. I think I've accomplished that. Obviously, I still have a lot to learn. But that 2012, I definitely didn't realize what I had at the time. Really good stuff. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you guys popping in last minute. Means a lot. You guys will see me again on Monday with a video and definitely next Thursday with a live. Cheers, everyone.